Well, it's the end of another year, December. It's the crazy season, so it's time for a top 10 plus 2. Let's go. Everybody, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. You found your way over to the Modest Audiophile channel. It's the end of 2025. It's the beginning, middle-ish of the holiday season, so it's list time. And yes, today we're going to talk about a top 10 plus 2 runner-ups list of represses, remasters, reissues, re-res. You get the point. As long as they were done in 2025, that is, the reissues. Most of these albums, actually all of these albums, are from what we'll call classic rock, okay? So stuff that was put out originally in maybe the 60s, 70s, 80s. Anyway, that's the criteria. Some of these things are from all analog sources, and some of these records are from a digital source. Doesn't matter, as long as they sound great. And that's really what's most important here is, how is the soundstage and imaging? Is it an inviting soundstage and image? Is it fun, mostly? Does it expand the soundstage of my listening room? Is the experience above all others that I have heard so far this year? That is basically it. Has to be a great soundstage, and all of these records certainly qualify. So what we'll do is, real quick, if you check the descriptions below, these are not affiliate links, but what I wanted to mention was that I do have a link in there for every one of these, and I found today's pricing. So if you're a fan of these, or if you know somebody that you may be getting a gift for this holiday season, at least you know where the links are and where to get the prices as of today, which is December 4th. Anything else I want to mention to this? Oh, yes, this list comprises of 5 different labels, 7 series, we'll get to that in a second, and it covers 6 different mastering engineers. All right, so what we'll do is we'll start from, say, 10, work our way up to 1, and then we'll get to the 2 honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list. I think I covered everything. All right, let's go to number 10.
10!
All right, for number 10, this came out May 23rd of this year, and it is Chicago 2. Doesn't say 2, but it's Chicago 2. And this is the Steven Wilson remix. And that's really why I bought it. I'm a big fan of Steven Wilson. I've got some of his remixes on vinyl, and I have some really great ones on high-res files. I'm a fan, so I'll get that out of the way. Also, what I found out after the case, because it sounded so good, and I did a little research for this video, none other than Kevin Gray did the lacquer cut on this. Yeah, more about Kevin Gray throughout this list. But for right now, yeah, this is a Rhino pressing, just a standard Rhino pressing. And I bought it on Amazon for $29.96. It's a double album, so you're getting some pretty good value for your money here. Why is this on the list? Well, Chicago's not really my swim lane. I like it enough, but I've never went out and bought an album. I don't think I've ever owned a CD, never owned a cassette tape, never owned a vinyl record. But again, Steven Wilson, it was intriguing. I found it online, I went, oh, I'll buy it. And I am so glad I did. This has a wonderful soundstage. Very similar to everything else that Steven Wilson does. Really accentuates the overall image. I can't compare it to what the original record sounded like, but from what other reviews have done, they say this thing does stand out. You're getting a lot of different styles of music here. You're getting some good rock in here. You're getting great orchestration in here. You're getting really good harmonies. Overall, you're gonna sense a lot of different type of music within this record. Really want to call out a couple things. On side 2 is the ballet for a Girl in Buchanan suite, we'll say. Starts off with Make Me Smile. Fantastic. Really enjoyed that. More so than I thought I would. In fact, I listened to this again a couple days ago to get ready for this video, and I was totally sucked in. It's a very good immersive type of an experience. Side 3 starts with Fancy Colors, has some really good wind chimes in there. Not unlike what you may find on Santana's Abraxas. Maybe not quite as, maybe doesn't project as much in the room as that. This is no slouch. Fantastic. And then Fancy Colors rolls right into my favorite song on the album, 25 or 6-4. What a powerful song that is. Excellent. And then we get into side 4, which is It Better End Soon with the first, second, third, fourth, fifth movements. You get it. Excellent. If you're a fan of Chicago, if you're a fan of Chicago 2, if you're a fan of Steven Wilson, check this thing out. Really good price point and a lot of value for your dollar. And this, I believe, was probably a digital source. Steven Wilson got his hands on it. Doesn't matter. Sounds fantastic.
9.
And coming in at number 9 is Steely Dan's The Royal Scam, the People's version. What do I mean about that? The $30 version. In fact, the $29.99 version on Amazon right now. I did a review on this earlier in the year. Fantastic. This is a digital source, but it doesn't matter. This came out June 6th of 2025. And really what I want to call it here is, I believe his name is Joe Nino-Hernes, if I'm saying that right. He was the mastering engineer on this. He pops up again later for, I think, number 3 in my list. But fantastic. Again, $30. Can't go wrong. A lot of value for the money. The overall soundstage is really good. Image is even better. Again, I did the review on it if you're interested in that. Super value for the dollar. Excellent recording. Really happy. So yeah, Steely Dan's The Royal Scam, the People's version. I can only imagine what the one-step sounds like for $100+, but maybe another life. This one's really good though.
8.
Coming in at number 8. It was tough. I couldn't split these apart. You'll understand why. It's a tie. Starting with 1975's Rhino High Fidelity, Fleetwood Mac, right? First one with Buckingham and Nicks added to the band, which gets me to the other part of the tie, Buckingham Nicks. They sound eerily similar, and they should. Both of them were done by Kevin Gray, just like everyone else over at Rhino High Fidelity. They were recorded at the same place, Sunset Sound Studios. So a lot of commonality between the two of them here. They are both still available at Rhino. Check out the Rhino Hi-Fi section for both of them are $39.98. Yep, $39.98. These are the unnumbered versions. The numbered versions sold out quite some time ago, but these can both be had there. If you are a fan of either of these records, and probably more so here because you're more familiar, this is the best version I've ever heard this album. I've got 4 different copies of it, including an old original. This thing sounds epic. And this one, I just got about 3 weeks ago. It sounds really good. Obviously, I'd never heard any of the songs on here before. I don't think most of us have. It sounds super. It sounds like a whole new Fleetwood Mac record, and that's the exciting part. So if you're in that vibe listening to the 75 record or Rumors, and to some extent Tusk, if you want that same vibe, that same type of soundstage and image, you're going to get it with this, as opposed to, say, Tango in the Night, which you're not going to get that same image at all, and that's a different story for a different day. But yeah, both of these fantastic. So if you have a fan in your family, or if you're a fan, you may want to consider these. Excellent. Coming in at number 8.
7.
All right, coming in at number 7, we stay with Rhino High Fidelity and Kevin Gray, and this one came out January 10th, very early in the year. I think it was the first record I got this year, and that is The Faces Ooh La La. I did a review on that. Check it out if you'd like. What makes this thing so special? It's the air and space between the instruments and the vocals. Superior image, excellent listening experience, really fun. Something I do want to call out here is starting side 2, you got an instrumental called Fly in the Ointment, and the way they come in, every instrument is layered upon itself. Every instrument is layered one after the other within the overall soundstage and image. This thing will get you toe tapping for sure. And then who couldn't forget Ooh La La, the last song, the title track, Ronnie Wood sings lead vocals. Fantastic record. The Faces Ooh La La at number 7. And that can be had for $39.98. It is still available right now as a numbered version, if I'm not mistaken, at rhino.com.
6.
All right, number 6. Number 6 was a surprise for me. It came out October 3rd of this year. The Monkees. Pisces, Aquarius, Capricorn, and Jones Limited. LTD, right? That's what it means. Nobody was as surprised as I. I picked it up because I'm a fan. I'm a second generation Monkees fan, right? Gen Xers like us, like me. I remember, if you live in New England, the Boston area, I remember after school as a grammar school kid back in the 70s, Channel 56, UHF, would have the repeats of the Monkees, and that's when I first fell for the Monkees. This thing, on any given day, I may have put this number 1 on my list. The sound quality is that good. I think there's a blurb out there where it's the very first time that the original analog tapes were used to cut a pressing. I don't even think the original was cut using those tapes. They may have used a copy of that original tape. Anyway, that's what I think I read. Regardless, this thing is an all analog cut by Kevin Gray, just like every other one at Rhino High Fidelity. Fantastic. Look at the inside of this. You remember these guys? Look at it. It's the flippin' Monkees. Yeah. I didn't remember all the song titles, but I'll tell you, going through the list here, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. A couple songs I want to pull out that sound exquisite. This thing came out in 1967, so right after the Beatles did the Revolver, and I think the Beatles actually did Pepper first, and then this came out after that. But it has a lot of that psychedelic vibe to it. It's a trip. It's a lot of fun. It's ear candy within the overall soundstage and image. Some of the things to pull out, She Hangs Out, the last song on side 1 called Words. You know the song. You may not remember the title of the song, but you remember it. And then we get on to side 2, What Am I Doing Hanging Round? Nesmith's vocals on that are absolutely fantastic. And then, yeah, you've got Pleasant Valley Sunday. This is a great album. I had a really hard time even keeping out of the top 5. Excellent album. If you are a fan, or you know somebody in your family that's a fan, give this thing a serious consideration. Yeah, just like the rest of them, $39.98 over at rhino.com. Check it out.
5.
All right, let's get on to number 5. Number 5, we go over to Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs for the 50th anniversary of Heart, Dreamboat Annie. I did a review on this earlier in the year as well. In fact, I had previous versions of this record. I had an old mushroom pressing, I had a couple of other pressings, and they just never really showcased this record as well as I thought it could be done. And then I saw that these guys were coming out with a double 45. Yep, 2 45s in here. It's worth it. Check out the review if you want to go into deeper detail. I love this record. Since this is Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs, it was mastered and the lacquer was cut by Craig Wunderlich, if I got that pronounced correctly. Awesome. Awesome. This thing really has never sounded better. It's the be-all, end-all version of this record as far as I'm concerned, because I've listened to quite a few. It's not available on Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab's website any longer. However, it will be restocked and you can get a notification or whatever when it is if you do so want to get it then, and you can pay $59.99. Again, the link is below. However, if you or a friend wants it now, you can get it over at over at Acoustic Sounds. Save a penny too. I don't know if we do that anymore, but the price points are $59.98, so you get 1 cent off. Don't expect to get a penny back though. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, if you want it now, Acoustic Sounds, Heart, Dreamboat Annie, awesome, 50th anniversary.
4.
All right, coming in number 4. This came out later in the year. Came out October 17th. This is by way of the regular Rhino, so no not high fidelity or Rhino Reserve or anything like that, just the standard Rhino label. And it is Little Feat, the last record album, Deluxe Edition. Couple things to note here. The first record is the entire original record of this, and it is AAA. It's all analog. The second record has what is called, I want to get this right, Hotcakes, Outtakes, and Rarities. And that is done from a digital file. None other than Bernie Grunman cut the lacquers for this. I want to mention a couple things about this record. First of all, let's show you the inside, because I have not done a review on this. I will, coming into probably January. Check this out. Fantastic. The soundstage on this thing absolutely jumps out at you. Of course, excellent musicianship, excellent vocals. The band is killer. If your foot's not tapping to this, you may want to get yourself checked out. Excellent, excellent listening experience. The soundstage on this, yeah, the soundstage really has that enveloping soundstage type of effect on you, where you're almost hearing music coming out from the sides at 180. I love this record. The reason why I got it was because earlier this year, and I can't keep it on my list because it technically came out in 2024, was Little Feat's Don't Fail Me Now. If I'm being honest, I like this a smidge better than I like the last record album. So I'm going to sneak it in here. Yeah, if you're a fan of the Feet, check this out. This thing sounds awesome. Just like the last record album, the first part of it, the record itself, is all analog. So excellent. Both records, superior soundstage. Arguably the best soundstage out of all of these, if I'm being honest. Really immersive experience coming at you from the side. So that's that. Coming in at number 4, Little Feat's The Last Record Album. Awesome. Oh, and that can be had at Amazon, where I bought it, for $33.49. Another 2 LP record. So great value for your money for an all analog pressing that's got a killer soundstage.
3.
Number 3 is my most recent video. I did it a couple weeks ago. It came out November 14th. None other than Bob Marley and the Wailers, Exodus. Boy, was I blown away on this thing. Talk about deep bass, great snare rim shots, incredible soundstage. I mean, incredible soundstage. This thing is fantastic. Still available. I bought it at youdiscovermusic.com. It's the vinyl file series. You can get it for $39.98. So yeah, it does compete very well with, say, Rhino High Fidelity. Anyway, just did a video on this. Go check it out if you're interested in superior sounding record. Comes in at number 3, and it's pretty tight up here. This thing is that good. Awesome.
2.
All right, number 2. Number 2 is another one by Rhino High Fidelity. Shocker mark, yeah, they're that good. But, so earlier this year, The Doors, Rhino High Fidelity, re-released their Doors titles. 33 and a third RPM. The unnumbered versions. In fact, these came out January 31st of this year. The numbered versions were at the end of last year. I was so happy they did this because I missed out on the first ones. So yeah, it's a Doors record. I could say it was this one. And this one's no slouch. Awesome. Probably the best recorded of the Doors records. It would be too easy for me to say LA Woman comes in at number 2. Can't go wrong with it. Can't go wrong with any of them. But for me, if I'm going to be a little contrarian here, Waiting for the Sun. I'm putting this as my overall number 2. I listened to it again last night to make sure of it. I love this record. Starts off with Hello, I Love You. Awesome. Love Street never sounded so lush as it does on this. Not to Touch the Earth. Probably the star on side 1. You hear Jim in the background and it gives you goosebumps. Fantastic. Obviously goes into Unknown Soldier at the end of side 1. Side 2, Spanish Caravan. Those guitars are jumping out of the soundstage in your lap. The clarity, the air and space within the overall soundstage, second to none. Ends with 5 to 1. Goosebumps. The Doors, Waiting for the Sun. Absolutely killer. Killer record. They're all very good, but for me, I'm going to put this in as number 2. And is it available? Rhino Hi-Fi, it's sold out, and I don't think they're coming back with it anytime soon, but I did check. Over at theingroove.com, you can get it for $39.99. So if you don't have it already, or you're looking for that special something for your special somebody for the holidays, you can head over there as of December 4th and get a copy of Waiting for the Sun for $39.99. Another one done by Kevin Gray. All right, it's a theme, right?
1.
Number 1. This was tough. I mean, we have a lot of great titles, a lot of great artists in these top 10. But number 1, I got to give it to this one because it's got the soundstage bounces all over the place. The image is crystal clear as anything I have. It's the Cars debut album, The Cars. Kevin Gray cut it, coherent audio, you know the story, blah, blah, blah. Rhino High Fidelity. They came out with the numbered version a couple years ago. Couldn't get my hands on it. When they finally announced that they were reissuing this thing again as an unnumbered version, I jumped all over it. It came out July 11th of this year. I don't have a record that sounds better. I really don't. I mean, this thing is the greatest hits unto itself. Right? You've got Good Times Roll, Best Friend's Girl, Just What I Needed, I'm in Touch with Your World, Don't You Stop, Side 2, You're All I Got Tonight, Bye Bye Love, and those last 2 songs, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, moving in stereo into All Mixed Up. This record is nostalgia for a Gen Xer like myself, and it's never, ever, ever sounded better as it does here. So that's where it comes in at number 1 for me. Oh, great album. And you can still get the unnumbered version over at Rhino High Fidelity for, you guessed it, $39.98. At least as of today, December 4th, 2025. All right, so that's my top 10 remasters, reissues, re-re's, deluxe versions, whatever they are. Those are my top 10. All right, let's get to 2 that just barely missed out. Starting with, well, we'll just go with whatever. We'll go with the first one. And the first one is, did a review on this earlier in the year. Wings, Paul McCartney and Wings, Venus and Mars, half-speed mastered, coming out of Abbey Road Studios. I did a review on that. Great listen. The half-speed mastering really brought out everything I think this recording had to offer. I haven't heard a better version of this. In fact, I really enjoyed Miles Showell and what he's done with a lot of the Paul McCartney solo records and the Wings records that come out of Half Speed Masters. Excellent job. So that was my first runner-up. And the last runner-up and the last album we'll cover on this video today is Yes's 90125. It came out October 3rd of this year. This is of the Rhino Reserve line, all analog cut. And who did it? Matthew Luthens did the lacquer cutting on this particular one. I listened to this again the other day. The reason why I didn't make it into the top 10, maybe I haven't listened to it enough, but I'll say that the overall listening experience, although excellent, for me, it didn't bring it up to the other level. The overall presentation was pushed back a little bit further in the overall soundstage. Didn't take anything away from the image. Excellent image. Pretty good dynamic range. The first side of this thing is killer, right? Again, Gen X or MTV. I remember the day we got MTV, Owner of a Lonely Heart, that video came on that day. We didn't get MTV until a couple years later. After 81, so maybe we got it in 83, I'm not sure. When did this come out? 83, well there you go. So yeah, I started side 1, Owner of a Lonely Heart, into Hold On, into It Can Happen, into Changes. Changes, listening to this last night, Changes, you start to really get an incredible overall soundstage and image. It reaches Dire Straits level of complexity of what's going on in the image. So yeah, this was one that it's not in my rotation every day, but it does sound really, really good. And that's why it's an honorable mention in my top 10 plus 2 reissues, rereads, all of that stuff for 2025. So that's it, everybody. Do yourself a favor this holiday season. It's crazy time right now. Snow's coming down. I had to rake the darn roof yesterday. And you have the kids coming back from college. You've got end of year stuff you gotta do. All the mall shopping or online shopping you gotta do. Yeah, in fact, you gotta set some time for yourself, and that's what I'm gonna do right after I'm done this video. I'm gonna take everything out of here and listen to something with my favorite beverage. So do yourself a favor. Yeah, set some time aside for yourself. Maybe go out there and look at one of these records, place an order, better yet. I think Rhino's doing a promo right now on their high fidelity line. They're not discounting them. However, if you buy 3 at the normal price of $39.98, you get a 4th one free. So yes, go out there, buy a couple gifts for your friends, and maybe just set one aside for yourself. Bring it in, give it a nice bath if you can, get your favorite beverage, put it on the machine, and listen to some sonic bliss coming out of your speakers. Thank you so much. If you've been a regular watcher of the channel this year, thank you. I really can't express my overall gratitude. If you're a first timer here, thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Go and take a poke around. You might find something else you like. If you do like this content and you want to support the channel, hit the like button. It's easy. More importantly, if you want to go not spend any money except for on records, but you want to support the channel further, yeah, go down there and hit subscribe. You can always take it away later, but in the meantime, it'll really help the channel. That's it. So happy holidays to you. Happy New Year coming up, and I can't wait to get started on some of the new titles for 2026. Take care, everybody. Happy holidays.